it's been so long since I watched the Flintstones that I decided to go and watch the first episode. I'm currently rewatching the first episodes of a lot of my favourite childhood shows to see how they hold up, and this one is actually better than I remembered. I'm not reviewing just now the pilot episode, which was like a 2 minute introductory episode, which I will watch. But the Flintstone Flyer is technically the first episode of the first season, and this aired in 1962, directed, of course, by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. And I learned today that Mel Blanc actually voiced Barney Rubble, and Bea Benaderet is Betty. We also have Alan Reed and Jean Vander as Fred and Wilma. And this episode starts off with Barney showing Fred his invention of a flying machine, and then something happens to Fred, which I won't explain too much about. But they use that to their advantage to get out of going to the opera because they want to go bowling instead. Will Barney and Fred be able to go bowling, or will Betty and Wilma get wise to what they're doing? I won't say exactly, but I thought it was a really good way to kind of set up the characters, to give us a good taste of what Fred, and mostly Fred, but also Barney, are like as characters, and their relationships with the Rubbles in the Flintstones. I think it kind of laid the foundations very well. I'm not sure when Pebbles and Bam Bam come into it, because my memory of the Flintstones is actually kind of vague. I remember really thoroughly enjoying it, but in terms of specifics, the timelines, none of that is in my memory. So I'm kind of keen to keep watching it and see how things develop. Dino is not purple in the beginning, and I googled it, and apparently it's for the first like 3 episodes. He doesn't even have a name, so I'm interested to see kind of what they do with that character. In terms of the animation quality, it's stunning. I mean, it's definitely a kind of 60s style, and a little bit here and there are rough around the edges, but it's very nostalgic, it's very consistent in its style. It is beautifully written, and that's why I said it's better than I remembered, because I remember enjoying it, but actually now as an adult can I appreciate how beautifully crafted the dialogue is. It's stunning, it's exquisite. So I will keep watching it. This first episode I think is a good introduction, but I think there are a lot more things for them to explore, a lot deeper for us to dig into the characters. And as I said, I wasn't aware that it was Mel Blanc who was voicing Barney, or indeed Bea Benaderet as Betty, so I learned something. I enjoyed it. I don't remember this episode specifically, so obviously there's nostalgia for the show, but with regards to the Flintstone Flyer, I have no recollection of it. As I said, my memories of the specifics are kind of vague, and I'm keen to see how long it takes me to get to an episode that I remember. But either way, the Flintstone Flyer is a really good start. I will go and watch the pilot at some point, but for now, I'm glad that I've watched technically the first episode. It definitely held up in terms of my memory, but actually, it surpassed my expectations. Really looking forward to seeing what else the show has in store.